Hey everyone, welcome to Brook Boy Design Company. In today's Blender practice session, we are going to create a simple battery model using just a basic cylinder and a few beginner friendly tools. Let's get started. First, I'm adding a cylinder to the scene and apply the scale. Then I scale it along the z-axis to get the basic battery shape. I'm selecting the top face of the cylinder and start building the battery's terminal. So I extrude and scale several times to create a small button on the top of the battery. With simple extrusions, the overall battery shape starts to look like a real battery. So once the basic form is ready, I'm just going to add a loop cut around the body of the battery. So this will help us separate the upper and the lower sections when assigning the materials later. After that, I'm applying shade smooth to make the model look cleaner. Then I select the edges and use the bevel tool to soften the sharp corners. You can adjust the width and segment values depending on how rounded you want the edges to be, or you can note down my values. So now it's time to separate the different parts of the battery. So I'm selecting the top face and I'm just going to use the select similar shortcut to make the selection process more easier. Then I just separate it into a new object. After that, I am isolating the battery button on the top and separate it as a new object as well. At this point, we will be having three main parts: the top section, the battery terminal, and the bottom section. Next, I'm start adding materials. For the battery's body, I choose a simple color combination and adjust the metallic and the roughness values to give it a slightly reflective surface. So feel free to use any colors you like for your own version. For the battery terminal, I'm just using aluminum style material to make it look more realistic. So you can use any metallic material that matches your preference. And now let's create the plus and the minus symbols. First, I'm moving the 3D cursor to the center of the top section and add a text object. I replace the default text with plus symbol through edit mode, and then I'm just converting it to a mesh and set the origin to the geometry, and I'm rotating it to the position I move it to the battery surface. I'm just rotating it into 90 degrees and moving it to the battery's surface to make it fit perfectly. So now let's add a Shrinkwrap modifier and set the top section of the battery as a target object. Then I'm just adjusting the offset value and add subdivisions to the symbol and conforms nicely to the curved surface. I repeat the same process for the minus symbol on the bottom section of the battery also. Again, I'm adding the text object. Edit mode, I'm just changing the default text to minus symbol and converting it to a mesh, and just rotating it to 90 degrees and then position it on the battery's body. Then now I'm applying a Shrinkwrap Modifier and also selecting the battery as the target and adjust the offset until it sits correctly on the surface. A few subdivisions will help the symbol follow the curve more smoothly, so just add more subdivisions. And with that, our battery model is complete. Now I'm just exporting the model as obj file and .blend file also. For the final presentation, I choose simple product showcase scene. You can use any scene that matches your own style and preference. Once the scene is imported, I'm just duplicating the battery and creating a second copy. Then I'm just rotating and position it both batteries to create a more interesting composition. You can customize it as per your liking. And finally, I render the scene and this is the result.